So in this video, we are going to talk about a few ways how meditation, a regular meditation practice, is going to benefit you so immensely, so deeply if you really stay consistent and steady for the long haul, for the long term. So let's dive in. Let's get into it. So the first way that you're going to transform for the better from a meditation practice is you're going to develop a sense of awareness. And developing a sense of awareness is really important because without awareness, you can't take any next steps around knowing what needs your attention on it for evolution and transformation. And that is why we are here on this earth. This earth is a school, and the yogis would call it this Dharma school, which I love that saying because whenever you come to the realization and acceptance that this is a dimension to learn lessons, then you start to shift and change your priorities. And I found that is one of the greatest gifts that comes with awareness. So the step one is once you got the awareness that this is an earth school, that you're going to learn some lessons, you're going to have some painful experiences, you're going to have some blissful, beautiful, expanding experiences, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, but are you going to be calm through the highs and the lows? Are you going to be able to not get, attached to the circumstances of the highs and the lows? And just remember that even if you are learning the manifestation techniques and you are becoming really good at manifesting your heart's desires and following your bliss and watching your thoughts and sending your most clear intentions out into the universe, there's still going to be unexpected plot twists. So people come and go, people die, relationships end. Like there are things that are unexpected that we just can't foresee. And if we've been living life long enough, whether through our own experience or seeing the world around us or our friends or our family, whatever it may be, we know that this is true. So living with this sense of awareness that we're on an earth school and we're here to learn some lessons, then we actually want to embrace the inevitable transformation that is upon us and available for us. And whenever we get into that state of just really rolling the shoulders back and accepting it, then we shift our priorities, like I said, right? So instead of watching Netflix at night or being entertained, which is okay, it's okay once in a while, but whenever we are entertaining ourselves all the time, then we are indoctrinating ourselves into belief systems that might not always be true. But see, the key is always about awareness. Can we watch a silly or dramatic or funny or sci-fi show or experience or telenovela with all the drama, whatever it may be, without identifying to those experiences and to those characters, without adopting those beliefs ourselves, or without absorbing it and reenacting that into our friend circles or our relationships or even our family, because that can happen. So it's good to have one foot in the world, right? But also always maintain that connection to your deeper awareness of what needs transforming within you and prioritizing that. And this is where it comes into making really sacred promises to yourself that you don't abandon yourself anymore. Once you realize what are your sacred promises to yourself and you start to actually keep them, then you start to really live from this place of exaltation, this place of who you are and you know what is important to you, and that creates a radiance of brightness, of beauty that you can never buy and no one can also take from you. You can sabotage it, that can definitely happen. You can have a moment of amnesia. You can make some poor decisions once in a while, learn some lessons and pick yourself up and keep on, keep moving forward. That's also, a possibility and inevitability, and it's very humbling when those moments happen, which is really what the universe cares a lot about, is how humble can you be? And trust me, if you're not humble, whew, you might get tossed around and smacked down. And if that's what has to happen for things to get painful, for you to really come back to who you are and letting the divine pour through you without being a diva, then so be it. And so once you start to prioritize your personal transformation through your spiritual practice of mantra meditation or silent meditation or pranayama meditation, whatever it is that is your path, then there starts to bloom this sense of, I guess I want to call it confidence, because through that prioritization, you're getting to know thyself. And whenever you know thyself, that again is one of those things that you can't buy and nobody can take away from you. So allow yourself, give yourself this beautiful gift of committing to what is a priority for you and then doubling down on it. Another benefit is discernment. And this is really, really key. This is important along our spiritual journey because many of us, maybe you identify with this or used to, I know I did. I used to be a people pleaser, and that is painful whenever you don't actually know how to say no, because not only do you not know how to say no to other people and what they're demanding sometimes or asking of you, but you haven't yet learned what it means is that you haven't yet learned how to say no to your own ego. And that is an important learning and teaching that we all need to go through. And think about it like, let's take food as an example, right? You eat late at night, you didn't say no, and then you wake up feeling puffy-eyed and like swollen eyes, and your face is like, splotchy, and your health is affected, and your mood is affected, your glandular system is affected by that, which disrupts your hormonal balance. Like all these things start to like domino and cascade, and then it's this loop, because then you go back to that pattern and habit, and you think it's going to make you feel good short-term, temporarily, for a moment, just for a few moments literally, and then you're back in that cycle again. So having that ability of discernment is a wonderful, wonderful wonder, a very precious gift that comes from spiritual practice, especially a meditation practice. That's one that I've been working on for years, especially with the food, especially if you have an addictive kind of personality, which I think all of us have a bit of an addictive personality to some degree, whether it is, food, or whether it is kind of being a hedonist of seeking out pleasurable experiences, whether through sex and intimacy, or what else? There's many examples of what we can be addicted to. So mine are always about food, it seems. Of course, drugs and alcohol are a part of that category. And being able to say no to those short-term gratifications is truly one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, because then you start to train yourself to look at the bigger picture and the longer-term focus and agenda and priority of what is actually important to you. So have that ability to say no to the things that are not aligned to you anymore based on your values, and you got to know what you value. That's key. And if you don't know what you value, you can find some resources below on how to get connected to what your values are right now, because that changes from time to time. And as we go through different life experiences, we shift and change what we actually value, so you can actually live in more connection, more deeply to your values at this day and age and time. And finally, the most precious, most wonderful gift of all of a spiritual practice, of a meditation practice, is that you become more happy, more joyful, and more peaceful, no matter what life is throwing at you. Your whole life could have just been ripped out under the rug, and you have an ability to just zoom out and maybe even laugh at it, whoa, this is the movie of life. I'm in the theater. This is just a set. None of this is actually real, although it feels very real. But think about it. Every single time you go through something challenging, at least for me, I can look back at 9 times out of 10, I can look back at my challenging experiences, and I can have such a lightness about it. I can laugh about it. I'm like, oh my God, that was hard, but how hilarious was that? like a time I think about whenever I was in Hawaii and I was like bouncing around at different farms and different bed and breakfasts, and I was volunteering at places, and I was just like doing this like bouncing around thing to see different areas of Hawaii and to check out different spaces. And this one place was so rough. The woman first showed me like literally a closet to live in. I was like, I can't do that. So then I got she put me out somewhere which was on the lanai, which is like the terrace, and it was half outdoors. I actually had to use shower curtains to cover the space so that I could actually have some privacy. Oh my gosh, what a moment. And in the middle of the night, I was up, I think I was up late. It was in the middle of the night. It was just after sundown. I was like reading, or I was like working on something, who knows, but I was in the bed working, because that's all there was. There was no space. It was just a bed, this little nook. And there was this, I have a little bit of a fear of spiders, and I'm working on that. I understand their medicine of what they mean, what they represent, but there was this giant one, and it was right above me, and the ceiling above me was maybe just like 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet at most. So the distance and space between me and that spider was way too close for comfort. And I was just like, I had like these little like cubbies behind me with all my things, and I had my sage, and I was just trying to be so slow. I was like, those 8 eyes are watching me so acutely right now, and it's afraid of me, and I'm afraid of it. And I was like even trying to like moderate my breathing, so it's like couldn't hear me breathe. And so I was trying to grab the sage and then light the sage so that I could just like, you know, if an animal smells burning sage or burning anything, they'll run away, because it's dangerous, right, for their survival. So that's what I was trying to do, and it did go away. But anyway, the point of that story is like, in the moment I was like almost in tears of like, I can't handle this. This is insane. This is how did I end up here? Like, what is happening? Get me out of here. And I was just like, you know, after living in Bali, which can feel very luxurious to many other places in the world because it's so affordable luxury. And then I was there with just like outside living, pretty much camping with a giant spider, and I was like, help. But now I can look back and I'm just like, that is hilarious. It is so funny. And I have so many of those kinds of experiences. And so, you know, it helps you look at your life with lightness. And that is so, again, I love this word coming through, precious. That's really precious, to be able to perceive your life through that kind of lens and just be like, wow, what a comedy, you know, through all the plot twists. And then, you know, okay, one little bonus, right, is that like we get better and better at directing our thoughts as our intentions to really be a conscious co-creator of this reality. We listen, which helps us activate our intuition from the directive of the soul, and then we actively set our intentions to set our course and go. That's the whole thing. And I know that is way simplified because there's so many dramas, there's so many thoughts, there's so many distractions, there's so many emotions, there's so many feelings. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle called being a human on Earth, in this dimension, in this life, right? And I know, because I've walked through the chaos of my own mind as well, and I've walked through many storms, and somehow I keep ending up all right, and even better actually as I go along. So anyway, if you need any kind of support with navigating your life, you can find some resources below. One of my favorite practices that I share below is the 3-minute inner peace practice, where in just a few minutes you're just gonna regulate your nervous system, and you're gonna start to feel some safety within your body. You're gonna feel a little bit more relaxed, and afterward you're gonna have a new perspective on whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever that you're navigating, whatever you are going through. So you can find that below. And also currently, right now, as of the date of this video, we are taking in applications for the Soul Recalibration Program, which is a 7-week deep dive and a full transformation. We have a protocol for a cleanse and our health that we do. We do abundance work to upgrade our abundance. We learned about the ego and the soul, and a handful of other things in a course of 7 weeks. So it's a wonderful deep dive, and if that is something that calls you, interests you, or you want to know more about, you can also find an application link below. There are only 7 seats available due to my calendar capacities, and only 3 spaces at the highest support tier. So if any of that interests you, calls to you, you can find the links below, and I hope it does, because I would love to meet you through the screen and get to know you and see what you're currently navigating, and how either I or we as a community within the Soul Recalibration Tribe, within the Academy, can best support you with an open heart and open arms. So you can find everything below. I look forward to hearing from you and maybe even meeting you on a call soon. All right, Sat Nam.